Welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida, and I am excited. First of all, have you subscribed? If not, please click that subscribe button. I'm excited to share with you these Morning Glory Muffins. They are just that. They are a glory to your morning. They are delicious. They have some healthy ingredients in them. And let's get started. I'm making this for the first time, but it will not be the last. This is like a healthy carrot cake to me. That's the kind of idea that I get. They have carrots in them. They have some apples. They have raisins, oil, eggs. I'm using some wheat flour today. I'm using some flaxseed, y'all, some cinnamon, spices, applesauce. So it's a very healthy variation to your regular banana nut muffin, which is delicious. But this is just a healthier start to the day with some good, nutritious ingredients in it and not loaded with a whole lot of sugar. All right. First of all, I'm going to start off by grating my carrots, and it's 2 cups of carrots. Y'all, I started off with the grater, and I had the little carrots. Next time, I'll get the full-size carrots, and then I moved on and just used my food processor to chop up these carrots. So I'm using 2 cups of shredded carrots. The first thing I did was shred the carrots. While I'm shredding these carrots, I was just wondering, what's your favorite muffin? There are so many out there. We have blueberry, we have lemon poppy seed, banana nut. That's one of my favorite. There are cinnamon muffins. I mean, the list goes on and on. All right, I'm bringing this to an end, but what is your favorite muffin? I'm adding these in. And one thing about these Morning Glory muffins, they keep well in the refrigerator. So right there you see I measured out 2 cups of my shredded carrots. And the funny thing is, even though it seems like a lot, you don't even really taste the carrots. Once it bakes and it bakes into the muffin, you really don't know the carrot. You might have little fine carrot pieces in the muffin, but it does not hold a strong burst of flavor, but it is subtle. It's very subtle, but it helps add to the moisture of the muffin, just like a carrot cake. So now going to grate my apple. I'm doing 1 cup of grated apple, and that was easy. Just take any apple that you have, and it's about one large apple. I would say it's about a cup of shredded apple. And then I'm just grating that real quick, and that was super easy. I am going to drain off the little bit of juice because this was a juicy apple when I mix it in with the ingredients. But I'm just shredding an apple, very simple. So see, we have carrots, we have apples. It's already a healthy start to the morning, y'all. It's a healthy start to the morning. And once again, it's creating a little bit of flavor and moisture to the muffin. Now that my shredding is out of the way, I did that first. I'm going to start mixing the dry ingredients, and I just got a large bowl, and I'm mixing in 2 cups of wheat flour. I don't use wheat flour often, I have to admit, but for this recipe I'm using wheat flour. If you have regular all-purpose flour, that's fine. And I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a little bit more. I think you can never have really too much cinnamon if you add a little extra cinnamon. And I'm doing a quarter to half a teaspoon of ground ginger. It depends on if you like ginger. I don't like a heavy presence of ginger, so I did a quarter teaspoon of that ground ginger also. So that's what's going into the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to just mix that well with a whisk and a little pinch of salt. Oh, and one of our special ingredients I'm adding to the dry mixture are flax seeds. I'm adding in the 3rd cup of flax seeds. That aids to a healthy digestive system. I believe it has a good source of fiber, and it's just one of those. It ingredients right now. So I'm adding in a third cup of flax seeds, and you barely know they're there, but I did like the flax seeds in the muffins. I felt it gave it some nice character and structure. Nowadays, I see people add flax seeds to some of everything. They put them in they put them in their smoothies, on salads. Oh my gosh, I'm baking with them, so you could definitely add them into different baked goods and flax seeds. Who knew? But they are in this recipe and they are good. So I'm done with the dry ingredients and it's time to mix the wet ingredients. So I got another large bowl and I'm adding in 3 large eggs at room temperature, of course, because when you're baking what? You want your ingredients at room temperature. So I have 3 large eggs here. I'm going to add in probably about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons actually of vanilla. I love vanilla. I feel you can never have too much vanilla too. And I'm going to whisk that very well. Just want to whisk those eggs first because sometimes if you added all the ingredients with the eggs without whisking them, it's hard to just break up those yolks. So I'm just giving that a quick whisk before I add in the rest of the ingredients. Right now, wet ingredients, 3 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Next, I'm adding in some brown sugar. You can use light or dark brown sugar. It's a half a cup of brown sugar going in. I did zest 1 orange, so I have a tablespoon of orange zest. That's giving it some extra flavor. Look at that zest, y'all. Bright orange color. And a third cup of orange juice. Right there, that is my honey. I have a 1/4 cup of honey. I would actually increase the honey to about a 1/3 cup of honey in the future, as I think it could have used a little bit more honey. So that's the honey going in. Like I said, it's a 1/3 cup of orange juice going to also go in to this recipe. Moisture, moisture, moisture. But it's a good thing. That's a 1/3 cup of applesauce that instead of using so much oil, we're substituting it with a 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce. If you have sweetened applesauce, I think it wouldn't hurt, but this is unsweetened applesauce. And just combining, constantly whisking and combining all these ingredients. Right here is the orange juice. I'm adding in a 1/3 cup of orange juice. I said that earlier, but I'm just now adding in that orange juice. And you see all these flavors. Doesn't this muffin sound and look good already with the orange, the apples, the carrots? Oh my goodness. It's just like a little party going on in your mouth. I finished adding in that honey. Like I said, I would add a little bit more honey next time, but this was a good start. I'm going to finish these wet ingredients up with a 1/3 cup of just like a regular canola oil or vegetable oil, or if you like, you can melt some coconut oil and put that in place. So that's a 1/3 cup of oil. So we have the 1/3 cup of oil and a 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce. So that is like the moisture. That's it. You're not doing a half a cup of oil, a whole cup. No. This is how we're keeping these nice and healthy. And just giving that a stir. To that, it's time to get those carrots. Remember those carrots from the beginning of the video? Yes, the 2 cups of carrots. It's time for them to go in. That shredded apple also will be going in at this time. Mixing that together, and I'm just going to let you watch how everything comes together. Once this is all mixed in, I'm going to get my dry ingredients in the bowl and I'm going to add those to the wet ingredients. And we're going to go from there. And this muffin is coming together. Morning Glory Muffins. I have a couple ingredients that will be left to add to at the end. That's my raisins and pecans. If you like pecans, pecans go into these muffins. They make them great. I made some with pecans, some without because I have people in my house that have nut allergies, so of course they don't get the nuts. So a few with nuts, a few without nuts. You could do all with or without. All right, I'm gonna let you just watch for a little while. Okay, at this point, you've seen the muffin batter come together. I'm just going to go ahead and put the mixture back into this bowl. And from here, I see I'm missing my raisins, so I'm going to add in probably about a half a cup of raisins. Always optional, depends on what you like in your muffins. So definitely, if you don't like something, leave it out. But I'm adding in a half a cup of raisins. I was wondering if cranberries could work, dried cranberries, but I think the raisins complement better this batter. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir. These are ready to go into the oven. My oven is preheated to 425. However you like, that's kind of high. That is very high. We're going to cook these for 5 minutes on 425, then lower the temperature to 350 and cook them for an additional about 15 minutes. So my batter is done. Now this took a little work. It had quite a few ingredients, so I'm not going to say this was a simple recipe because it did require a lot, but it was easy and it was just kind of fun to do. Those are the pecans, and you'll see that I'll just add those at the end to a few of my muffins. Right now, I'm just have my muffin pan. I have some muffin liners, excuse me, and I'm filling them to the top. These don't rise a whole lot, so you can definitely fill them to the top. I would say my batter made almost a dozen. It should make like a whole dozen. Let me see. Did I get away with a dozen here? Oh, I sure did. Okay, so it made a dozen muffins. Half of those, I just put a few pecans in, mix those in, making sure not to touch the other muffins. And we're going into the oven right now. Or actually, we're already baking in the oven. And this is how they're looking. Perfectly domed, perfectly domed. And they're finished. Look, y'all, the Morning Glory muffins are ready. They're hot and ready. Best way to eat them is warm. To eat one is warm out the oven. I did make a little honey butter. You just have some softened butter and have some honey, mix them together, and I did add a little honey butter to my muffin just to top it off. But those are it. Those are the Morning Glory muffins. They are delicious. And like I said, they keep well in the refrigerator for a couple of days. So you can eat them for a snack. You can eat them in the morning. You can eat one in the evening, not too late, of course. But I hope you do try this recipe. It was good to me, so I'm sure it'll be good to you. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.